Stop everything. Right now. Because what I'm about to reveal in the next 20 minutes will completely transform your understanding of the loneliness that's been suffocating you this Christmas season. That ache in your chest. That hollow feeling in your stomach. That sense of isolation even when you're surrounded by people. That devastating awareness that everyone else seems to be experiencing the joy and connection you're desperately missing. You thought this loneliness was about your circumstances, about being single when everyone else is coupled, about being far from family, about lost relationships, about empty spaces at your table. You've been blaming external factors for an internal emptiness that's been consuming you. But what I'm about to expose will shock you to your core. This Christmas loneliness you're feeling is not random. It's not just seasonal depression. It's not simply the result of unfortunate circumstances. This specific, suffocating isolation you're experiencing has a source, a cause, an origin point. And by the end of this message, you will discover that the Christmas loneliness you feel is coming from your identity will be revealed at the perfect moment. When the full truth is unveiled, you will understand why this loneliness feels different than ordinary sadness. Why it's deeper than just missing people. Why it persists even when you try to distract yourself. Why it feels like something is fundamentally wrong, fundamentally missing, fundamentally broken. Because it is. And the source of this brokenness is closer than you think, more internal than you realized, and more fixable than you imagined. Before we expose the true source of your Christmas loneliness and show you the path to healing, you must do 3 things immediately. Like this video right now to signal that you're ready to face the painful truth that leads to real freedom. Subscribe and activate all notifications because what you're about to learn will require continued support and guidance. Type "Heal My Loneliness" in the comments, declare your readiness to address the root, not just the symptoms. Stay until the final second because after the reveal, I will direct you to a second video exposing the sacred solitude, how to transform loneliness into divine connection, the spiritual keys to never feeling abandoned again. Section 1, The Anatomy of Christmas Loneliness. Let me describe what you've been experiencing, and you tell me if this feels devastatingly accurate. This Christmas season arrived, and with it came a wave of loneliness so intense it took your breath away. Not the gentle sadness of missing someone. Not the quiet melancholy of nostalgia. But a crushing, suffocating isolation that makes you feel like you're watching life through glass. You can see everyone else connecting, laughing, belonging. But you're on the outside, unable to touch it, unable to enter it. You scroll through social media and see the photos, families gathered, friends celebrating, couples exchanging gifts, children opening presents with squeals of joy. And each image feels like a knife reminding you of what you don't have. Each Merry Christmas feels hollow when you respond because your Christmas doesn't feel merry. It feels empty. Performative. Lonely. The specific nature of your loneliness. But here's what makes your loneliness unique and particularly painful this Christmas. You're not just alone, you feel unseen. You're not just by yourself, you feel forgotten. You're not just without people, you feel fundamentally disconnected from life itself, from purpose, from meaning, from the divine. This loneliness has specific characteristics. It's persistent. It doesn't lift even when you try to engage, distract, or self-soothe. It's always there, humming beneath every activity, waiting to resurface the moment you're still. It's deep. It goes beyond missing specific people. It's an existential ache, a soul-level emptiness, a feeling that something essential is missing and you can't name what it is. It's accompanied by worthlessness. You don't just feel alone, you feel like you deserve to be alone. Like there's something wrong with you that makes you unworthy of connection, celebration, joy. It's spiritually suffocating. You try to pray, but the prayers feel like they hit the ceiling. You try to connect with Allah, but you feel like there's a barrier, a distance, a silence that confirms your deepest fear, that you're abandoned even by heaven. The Quran speaks to this in Surah Ash-Shar. Did we not expand for you your breast? And we removed from you your burden which had weighed upon your back. But right now, your chest feels constricted, not expanded. Your burden feels heavier, not removed. And you're wondering why the divine promises don't seem to apply to you. The Christmas Amplification. Christmas makes this loneliness unbearable because the entire world is celebrating connection while you're drowning in isolation. Everywhere you turn, there's a reminder. Stores playing songs about togetherness. Advertisements showing happy families. Decorations symbolizing warmth and home. People asking, "What are your Christmas plans?" And you have none that feel genuine. The cultural expectation that everyone should be joyful, grateful, surrounded by love. This gap between what Christmas is supposed to be and what you're actually experiencing creates a secondary pain, shame. You feel broken for not being able to manufacture the joy everyone else seems to have naturally. You feel defective for struggling while everyone around you is thriving. The secret you've been keeping. And you've been keeping this loneliness secret. You paste on a smile. You say "I'm fine" when people ask. You post carefully curated content that hides the emptiness. You perform normalcy while internally screaming. Because admitting this depth of loneliness feels like admitting failure, like confessing that you're fundamentally unlovable, like revealing a defect you're supposed to hide. But I'm here to tell you, this loneliness is not your fault. And it's not evidence of your unworthiness. It's evidence that something has been taken from you, broken in you, or never developed in you. And identifying that source is the first step to healing. If you've been hiding your Christmas loneliness behind a smile, type "I've been pretending" in the comments. Section 2, The 3 False Sources. Before I reveal the true source of your Christmas loneliness, let me expose the 3 false sources you've been blaming, and why blaming them keeps you stuck in the pain. False source number 1, your circumstances. You've been telling yourself, "I'm lonely because I'm single, because my family is far away, because I don't have kids, because I lost someone, because I'm in a new city, because..." External factor. These circumstances contribute to your loneliness, yes. But they're not the source. Because you know people in similar circumstances who aren't experiencing this crushing isolation. You know single people who are thriving. You know people far from family who've built chosen family. You know people who've lost loved ones who've found peace. Your circumstances are the context, not the cause. Blaming circumstances keeps you waiting for external changes to fix internal brokenness. It keeps you believing, when I get into a relationship, when I move closer to family, when I have children, when circumstances change, then I'll stop being lonely. But that's a lie that keeps you powerless. False source number 2, other people's failures. You've been telling yourself, "I'm lonely because people have abandoned me, because my family is toxic, because my friends disappeared, because no one chooses me, because people don't see my worth." Again, there's truth here. People have failed you. Relationships have ended. Others have made choices that increased your isolation. But if you make other people the source of your loneliness, you give them all the power over your healing. You stay stuck waiting for them to come back, to apologize, to see you, to choose you. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught, "The strong believer is better and more beloved to Allah than the weak believer." Strength includes taking responsibility for your inner state regardless of others' actions. If your wholeness depends on other people's behavior, you'll never be whole because you can't control them, False source number 3, God's abandonment. This is the darkest thought you've had, the one you're almost afraid to admit. Maybe I'm lonely because even Allah has forgotten me. Maybe I've sinned too much. Maybe I'm being punished. Maybe I'm just not chosen for joy, connection, belonging. This thought makes the loneliness unbearable because it removes all hope. If God Himself has abandoned you, where is there to turn? If heaven is silent, who can speak life into your emptiness? But the Quran explicitly refutes this in Surah Al-Baqarah, "And when my servants ask you, O Muhammad, concerning me, indeed I am near. I respond to the invocation of the supplicant when he calls upon me. Allah doesn't abandon." That feeling of divine distance is real, but it's not because He moved. It's because something in you has created the perception of distance. Why these false sources keep you stuck? When you blame circumstances, others, or God for your loneliness, you stay in victim position. You have no agency. You can't heal because the problem is out there, beyond your reach, beyond your control. This creates helpless suffering, pain without possibility of change. But what if the source of your loneliness is internal? Closer? Within reach of your influence? Then suddenly, healing becomes possible. Power returns. Hope emerges. If you've been blaming external factors for your internal emptiness, type "I've been looking outside" in the comments. Section 3, Why this Christmas specifically. Now let me reveal why this Christmas, specifically, has amplified your loneliness to unbearable levels. This timing is not coincidental, it's revelatory. The divine exposure. Sometimes Allah allows pain to intensify, not to harm you but to expose something that needs healing. Your loneliness has reached crisis level this Christmas because it's time to address the root. You can't ignore it anymore. You can't medicate it with distractions. You can't pretend it away. It's screaming for attention because the source needs to be dealt with. Think of physical pain. Your body doesn't create pain to torture you. It creates pain to alert you to damage that requires attention. Your soul is doing the same thing. This Christmas loneliness is your internal alarm system saying, something is broken here. Something needs healing. Pay attention now. The Christmas mirror. Christmas is a season of mirrors. It reflects back to you whatever is incomplete in your inner world. If you have unhealed wounds around family, Christmas exposes them. If you have unprocessed grief around loss, Christmas magnifies it. If you have core beliefs about your unworthiness, Christmas amplifies them. The reason this Christmas feels uniquely lonely is because it's holding up a mirror to your deepest wound, the source of your loneliness, and saying, look. See. This is what needs healing. The Quran teaches in Surah Al-Kahf about the story of Khidr and Moses. Sometimes what appears as destruction is actually preparation for something better. Your Christmas loneliness feels destructive, but it's actually preparatory. It's breaking open what needs to break so healing can enter. The completion of a cycle. You've also been in a season, perhaps lasting years, where this loneliness has been building. Maybe you've been ignoring it, managing it, working around it. But this Christmas marks the completion of a cycle. The pain has reached its maximum capacity. You're at a breaking point, which is actually a breakthrough point. You can't continue living with this level of isolation. Something must shift. And the fact that you're watching this video right now, at this moment, means you're ready for the shift. You're ready to know the true source. You're ready to heal. Type "I'm at the breaking point" if this resonates with where you are. Section 4, The Identity Reveal. Now we arrive at the moment of painful but liberating truth. What is the real source of your Christmas loneliness? Where is this crushing isolation actually coming from? Let me reveal it with compassionate clarity. The reveal, The Christmas loneliness you feel is coming from your disconnection from your own self, the abandonment of your authentic soul. This is not the answer you expected. You thought I would say it's from a specific person who left, a specific wound from childhood, a specific trauma. And those things may have contributed. But the deepest source of your loneliness is internal. You have abandoned yourself. Let me explain what this means. The self-abandonment pattern. Over the years, through experiences of rejection, criticism, failure, or simply trying to fit in and be accepted, you learn to abandon parts of yourself. You silenced your authentic voice to say what others wanted to hear. You suppressed your true emotions to appear strong or acceptable. You ignored your real needs to serve everyone else's needs. You dismissed your genuine desires as selfish or unrealistic. You rejected your imperfect humanity, demanding impossible perfection from yourself. You abandoned your own standards and boundaries to keep others comfortable. You stopped being present with yourself, constantly distracting from your own inner world. You became a stranger to yourself. You lost the ability to be your own companion. You disconnected from the one person who's guaranteed to be with you every single moment of your life, you. The loneliest abandonment. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught, "None of you truly believes until he loves for his brother what he loves for himself." But you can't love for others what you don't have for yourself. You've stopped loving yourself. You've stopped being a friend to yourself. You've stopped showing up for your own life with presence, compassion, and care. And this self-abandonment creates a loneliness that no external connection can fill. Because even when people are present, you're not present to yourself. Even when you're in a crowd, you're absent from your own experience. Even when someone loves you, you can't receive it because you don't believe you're worthy of it. How IT manifests this Christmas. This self-abandonment shows up in specific ways. You don't know what you actually want. When someone asks what do you want to do for Christmas, you freeze. You have no authentic answer because you've lost touch with your own desires. You can't be alone with yourself. Every moment of solitude feels unbearable, so you fill it with distractions, TV, phone, anything to avoid the discomfort of your own company. You judge yourself mercilessly. The voice in your head is cruel, critical, condemning. You speak to yourself in ways you'd never speak to another human being. You override your body's signals. You don't eat when hungry, don't rest when tired, don't stop when overwhelmed. You treat yourself like a machine, not a soul. You can't celebrate yourself. Even small wins feel illegitimate. You can't acknowledge your own growth, strength, or beauty because you don't genuinely see or value yourself. The devastating cycle. Here's the tragic irony. Because you've abandoned yourself, you unconsciously attract people who also abandon you. Because you treat yourself as unworthy of presence, you accept relationships where others treat you as optional. Because you're not committed to your own well-being, you accept situations that harm you. Your outer loneliness is reflecting your inner self-abandonment. The relationships that fell apart externally mirror the relationship with yourself that fell apart internally. The Quran addresses this in Surah Ar-Rum, so direct your face toward the religion, inclining to truth. Adhere to the fitrah of Allah upon which He has created all people. Fitrah is your original, authentic nature. You've moved away from your fitrah, from being authentically yourself, and that distance from your true self is the source of your loneliness. The specific wounds. For some, the self-abandonment started in childhood when you learned your authentic self wasn't acceptable to caregivers. For others, it started in a traumatic relationship where being yourself was punished. For some, It began when you achieved something but still felt empty, realizing external success doesn't fill internal voids. Whatever the origin, the pattern is the same. You learn to betray yourself to survive, to be loved, to succeed. And now the survival mechanism has become a prison. You're safe from rejection because you rejected yourself first. But you're dying from loneliness because the most important relationship, with yourself, is broken. If this revelation is hitting you like a freight train of truth, type "I abandoned myself" in the comments. Section 5, The Reunion Protocol. Now that you know the true source of your Christmas loneliness, let me give you the Reunion Protocol, specific steps to come back to yourself, to heal the self-abandonment, and to experience connection from the inside out. Action 1, The Sacred Apology. Find a private moment this Christmas. Stand in front of a mirror, look yourself in the eyes, and speak this apology out loud. I'm sorry. I abandoned you. I silenced your voice. I ignored your needs. I treated you as unworthy. I left you alone even when you were screaming for attention. I betrayed you by pretending to be someone I'm not. I'm sorry. And I'm coming back. I'm here now. I'm not leaving again. This will feel awkward, maybe even emotional. Let it be. This is the beginning of reuniting with yourself. The relationship that's been broken needs acknowledgement of the break before healing can begin. Action 2, Daily Check-ins. Starting today and continuing through the new year, commit to 3 daily check-ins with yourself. Morning, what do I need today? What does my body need? What does my heart need? What does my spirit need? Midday, how am I feeling right now? What emotion is present? What is it trying to tell me? Evening, what did I experience today? What moment mattered? What am I grateful for? These simple questions rebuild the connection with your inner world. They teach you to be present to yourself, to value your own experience, to show up for your own life. Action 3, Honor your authentic desires. This Christmas, do one thing solely because you want to, not because others expect it, not because it looks good, not because you should. Something authentic to who you actually are. If you want to be alone without guilt. If you want to cry, cry without shame. If you want to skip traditions that feel hollow, skip them. If you want to create new traditions, create them. If you want to say no to obligations, say no. Honoring even one authentic desire rebuilds trust with yourself. It shows you that you're a safe person for yourself to be honest with. Action 4, Speak kindly to yourself. Notice the voice in your head, the one that judges, criticizes, condemns. For the next 40 days, every time you catch a cruel thought, replace it with compassionate truth. Cruel, you're so pathetic for being lonely. Compassionate, you're human and you're hurting. That's okay. You're learning to heal. Cruel, no one wants you. Compassionate, I want me. I'm choosing myself. I'm learning to be my own good company. Cruel, you should be over this by now. Compassionate, healing has no timeline. I'm exactly where I need to be. This practice rewires your relationship with yourself from enemy to friend. Action 5, Invite Allah into the reunion. Finally, bring Allah into this journey of coming back to yourself. Pray. Allah, you created me with an authentic soul, a unique purpose, a specific design. I've abandoned that original self. I've tried to be someone else to survive, to be loved, to be acceptable. But I want to come back to who you made me to be. Guide me back to my fitra. Help me see myself as you see me. Teach me to love who you created. Help me be present to my own life. Heal the disconnection. Make me whole. The Quran promises in Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah does not burden a soul beyond that it can bear. You can bear this journey back to yourself. You have the strength. And Allah is walking it with you. Type "I'm coming home to myself" to activate this protocol. Closing bridge. This self-abandonment and the loneliness it creates is just the beginning of a profound healing journey. There's deeper wisdom you need about transforming loneliness from enemy into teacher. There's a second video on my channel you must watch immediately, Sacred Solitude, How to Be Alone Without Being Lonely. In it, I reveal how to cultivate a relationship with yourself so rich, so fulfilling, that your inner world becomes a sanctuary rather than a prison. Click my channel right now. Find that video. Watch it completely. Your freedom from loneliness depends on learning to be good company for yourself. Final engagement. Type Amen if you're ready to stop abandoning yourself and start coming home. Subscribe for continued guidance through this reunion journey. Share this with someone who's been drowning in Christmas loneliness. Your loneliness is not evidence that you're unlovable. It's evidence that you need to come back to yourself. The person you've been looking for in others, the one who will see you, value you, never leave you, that person is you. Come home. You've been waiting. Go watch that second video now. Your reunion with yourself begins today. Type I'm coming home to myself and watch the second video now.